Hello, welcome back to another video. I really pondered this topic for a while, and that is essentially how much time do you need to spend running a successful design business? So I'm kind of shifting this to my personal experience and perspective. And the reason I want to talk about this is because lately I've been hearing a lot of other women say, like, oh, it kind of sounds too good to be true. How does Emily have time to do all these different things, right? So if you don't know me, I have an interior design residential business, as well as my mentorship and coaching company, Profitable Designer Blueprint. So my goal in life is to just find joy, right? For me, that is creating my career and letting my passion be what drives me to do my interior design work. And so I am very blessed and grateful that I get to create beautiful spaces for people and make a living doing that. But I also am not someone who wants to hustle and work my ass off nonstop and not stop and slow down and enjoy the little and enjoyable things in life. And to me, that is having a life outside of work and your career. So I like to garden and grow my own food. We just recently got 13 ducks. I have 2 cats. I like sewing and doing yoga every day and things like that, and traveling all the time. And I am lucky to be able to live my life and do those things that bring me joy every day, as well as work in my business. And so the reason I tell you that is because I want to show a little of my perspective on how I'm able to work essentially part-time while running a successful business that's profitable, that I can live off of. So, like I said, I don't want to hustle and work like 60 hours a week. I started my business because I wanted to be creative and feel fulfilled and not have the pressure of creating designs or doing work for someone else, under the watch of someone else and telling me what to do. And so I get to take on my own projects that fulfill me personally. So I'm living my best life. I'm not hating or despising the work I'm doing. So the first thing I want to touch on is that I've found that there needs to be a mentality shift, and that is, you don't have to hustle to be successful. Like, being successful doesn't automatically mean there's not one size fits all. Everyone has a different story, has a different life, and many factors that play into that. So I personally work maybe around 25 hours a week. Now, of course, it wasn't always that way. When I first got started, I took any job I could get. I wanted to build my portfolio. I wanted to get any cash I could get in. But now, 3.5 years in, I decline a lot of projects. I probably get 10 to 15 leads per month maybe that come in, and I'm turning down, probably over half of those because they're not in alignment with what I want to work on, essentially. And I have that luxury now to do that. So I'm only taking on, maybe higher ticket, higher value, more creatively aligned with my aesthetic, things like that. So I'm charging what I'm worth. I'm only taking on a handful of clients each month, and that works for me. That allows me to travel and to make the profit goals that I need to make in order to live the lifestyle I want to live. And I have time to do these different things in my life because I set it up that way, because I have systems and processes in place that I have been creating from the get-go and tried and learned and trial and error. And here I am now because I have those processes in place that have gotten me from A to B. And now I'm not, exactly a beginner anymore. I'm getting projects and making an income successfully. And so when you have, let's say, 5 projects a month, you're not always constantly working and creating. There's phases, right? And your business ebbs and flows. So I personally meet with my clients like a few times per project. Now it depends on the type of project, but that is for a consultation, and then a measure meeting, and then to meet with them again to present the concepts, and then usually the last time to install. So maybe like 4 times over the course of months or a year or however long that project's taking, right? And so a lot of it is done on my computer from the comfort of my own home. And like I said, there are phases in every project. And so first, you're drawing a floor plan, and then a rendering, and then you're sourcing and getting your concepts and inspiration and whatever that looks like for you. And all of that, to me, I might take like, 15 hours to create the concept. And again, this depends on the project. And then you get everything approved, all the furniture, and then you order it, and then you sit and wait for maybe months, and then you install it. So there's like gaps in each project where I have time where I'm kind of just sitting and just chilling, right? I got my design fee collected, I got all my markup from all the furniture I ordered, and there's times where I'm just kind of sitting and not having to constantly work and try and get new projects, and it's already automated coming to me because of what I set up in my business. And so hopefully that kind of makes sense. And I also want to mention that everyone's business looks different. That's why I started this video out with telling you the goals in my life and the things that are important to me and my values. And it's never been my goal to grow my business to be really big and have a bunch of employees and be in magazines and become like CEO and manage everyone underneath me. I don't want to do that. I personally want it to be just me and like my assistant that helps me whenever I need it. And I want to be hands-on. I want to be the one creating the designs and installing and being nitpicky, because I am, and I'm detailed, and I want it to be my creation. And so for me, if I get to the level of, let's just say Studio McGee, for example, a lot of people probably know Shay McGee. She's got a collection at Target. She's got a Netflix show now. She's a very infamous interior designer. And not saying I would ever get to that level, that's a very high level to achieve, but to compare to someone who has like a lot of employees underneath him. I don't even know how many employees she has, but I'm sure she has a lot. Your position then becomes you managing everyone underneath you, and you get a lot of help, and you can definitely get more projects and take on more and get more money coming in, but that's also more overhead. Like I said, that's managing people, and that to me, I have no interest in doing that. I don't like managing people. I have high expectations for my projects, and I don't really want to rely on someone else to create that vision, and I don't want to work with a team. I just want it to be me, and like I said, maybe an assistant to help me when I need it, to outsource things that I don't have the time or want to do. But I have a say in that. And so there's like the level I'm at, and that's just like me, a business owner, and maybe a little bit of help, but not really wanting to grow to be this big firm. And then maybe there's a firm with like a couple employees, taking on bigger projects, more projects. And then maybe there's that third level of a huge company that travels internationally and nationwide, and they're only taking on like huge new builds that take like 2 years to do, and they're super profitable but very stressful. And maybe they also have a brick and mortar store, so they have that overhead with a shop, and maybe they have an online storefront, right? Like that to me is just, no, that becomes stressful and chaotic, and it doesn't sound enjoyable to me. And at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I love interior design, and I want to hand pick projects that I like, only take on a few because I don't want to hustle and work nonstop. I want to enjoy my life and the little things and traveling and spending time with my loved ones and hobbies. And so for me, what that looks like is not getting to that level. It's staying over here and still being flexible to do everything I love, but also make a good income, taking on projects that I like. So I say that because you might have a different goal than I, and that's great. Everyone, has their goals and where they want to be as an interior designer and what your business looks like, and that's great. Everyone's business might look different. But for me, I have time to do all of this because of how I set it up. So again, it's just like a mentality shift. I know that there are people out there that think, or maybe they're comparing themselves to someone else that they know, or a professor, or another designer, or maybe it's someone you worked under and you see them like hustling nonstop and they're stressed out. Well, you can't compare yourself to other people. So you just need to figure out what your priorities are, what you want your business model to be, what your goals are for your design business, what kind of projects you want. And if you're someone who, like me, wants to enjoy their life outside of their career. An interior design business doesn't have to take a lot of time. I work part-time, like I said, like 25 hours a week maybe, and I get to travel and take time off and don't necessarily have to work some days if I don't want to. So again, it comes down to systems and processes and learning those and implementing them to ensure that your business is set up properly to guarantee those results. So hopefully that kind of provided some insight as to, if you're sitting here thinking like, holy shit, I'm so scared to start my own business because it's going to take so much time and I have to get my business set up legally and I've got to get contracts and hire a lawyer and I have to figure out my style and my website and like, yes, there's a lot of things, but that you have to take it in bite-sized chunks. You're never going to know everything all at once, and that's okay. That's okay. Just accept it. All right? Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Your business doesn't have to be like 60-hour full-time work week unless you want it to be. You can do multiple things at once and be successful. So hopefully that provides some insight and answers your question on how I make a profit while working part-time. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.